Alright folks, welcome back, and today we've got the green Saturn with another issue. You're going to hear it in just a second, but I believe, without looking at it, that we have a broken axle, or a braking axle, so let's give it a shot. That sounds like. Alright, so now that we've got it up here, I'm gonna pull this wheel off and we're gonna take a look in there and see what's going on. Alright, so first out of the gate, remove these wheels. Up next, we've got the center bolt here. It's a 29 millimeter. The closest thing I have is a 30 millimeter. Judge me if you will, but it's never stripped out, and this is about the 10th time I've taken this thing off with it. So 30 mil, 29 mil, whatever you please. $30 mil works. Next, we've got two lower strut bolts. They are 18 mil each. Easy as pie, baby. Now remember, you're going to want to use a hammer and beat these things out of there. Alright? Just like that. Real easy. Now before we pull this out, you're going to want to stick a 1/2 inch on that and let that free just so it has a little bit more room so it doesn't pull super tight when you let this down. And now with that all loose and apart, you just want to come down here, one whack. So up next, I'm going to use a crowbar, and I'm going to stick it back in there and just try to wiggle this thing loose. It shouldn't take too much. Just usually a little, I usually stick it in there and I'll like whack the end of it with a hammer or something, and it frees that axle up really easily from the transmission. Seeing as I don't have 3 hands to film this, you want to get that right there in the loop. You just want to whack the end of it with the hammer, and it'll push it right back in there just enough and pop it free. I'll show you the result. Alright, well, after a minimal mess and pulling it out, got the new one put in there. Just kind of threw these through to hold it back in place. Here's the old one. That is definitely, there's the problem right there. So we'll open that up and check it out here in a minute. But for now, I'm going to get all this stuff put back on, tidied up. I'll save you that. Alright, and we're back on now. Got the tire in there, got the axle out here. Remember, you're going to need a 1/2 inch, a 19, an 18, and a 29. And that should do everything for this. Something with a bent end like that. For one-handed use, you can use something like this. I just kind of pushed that back in there and just kind of rocked it back and forth until the axle popped out. But overall, it's a pretty easy job. This one took me about 30 minutes to do the whole thing, so it's not a very hard job at all. You can do it in your driveway. Obviously, I have no amenities. I'm out here, it's 40 degrees. So yeah, less than an hour, you can change it yourself. Good luck, folks. If you need any advice, drop a comment. I check comments frequently and reply to them. So, all right, let's give it a shot. So really, we're taking off at a turn right now. It should click. Problem solved, guys. That click was the axle, and the axle is now fixed. For anybody that's curious, that's what that sounds like. Down in there. It's kind of hard to see. Hold on. Down in there you can see the ball sets. It's supposed to set in something that's nice and tight. And it's got this gap on both sides of it, and they all do. They've all got that gap. And that gap is what gives you the play. As well as, I'm guessing some of this stuff back in here probably has been broken or chipped away because there's a lot of noise coming from the center of it as well as the outside housing. But yeah, I advise when you pull something like this off and it's broken, instead of just throwing it away, pull the boots off. Take the whole thing apart. Learn how this piece works. Learn exactly why the splines look like this on this end and why the splines look like this on this end. Like the things that are in the middle. It's a good learning experience, because if you know how this operates, then you can diagnose whenever you hear a sound instead of just guessing. Because anybody who hears a clunk in the front, they think tie rods or control arms or this or that. And if you take it to a mechanic and have them diagnose it, they'll replace all those things for you, when it was simply just a $50 axle from Rock Auto. Or it was free, actually, because I have the car in the backyard and that car is identical. Now I will say this was also an axle out of an automatic. Actually, this one was out of my manual, but the automatic axle fit in my manual transmission. So those axles are the exact same for the F23 transmission. Just a heads up for you guys that may be dealing with this project in the future. But thank you for joining me. And again, guys, this is the Cheaper Guy. Till next time. Peace.